Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. Oh, yeah, Ilus. Sharp and Rosen are really going at it, and that's George Sharp and Brett Rosen. And if you've been following Ilus, you know all about these two guys. And they have really been having at it the last several months, and today it got a little bit ugly on Twitter. And here you can see George Sharp on his Twitter account, and he's got quite a few followers in the OTC, and he put out, he said, absolute bold-faced lies issued by Brett Rosen, $53,000 of notes converted to 53 million shares at 0.001 per share. And then he did a little screenshot here. And then he said, hard to believe in a company where its main benefactor outright lies like this. And then let's see what this is here. It says, Brett Rosen responded and said, that's the par value of Ilus common stock and not the conversion price that RB Capital paid for those shares. And here he said as well, he said, RB Capital paid more than 10 cents a share on average for our shares of Ilus, and I can easily prove it. Any takers on the $10,000 bet against $100,000? Then he says, does anyone want to bet me 10 grand against 100 grand that RB Capital paid less than 10 cents a share for Ilus shares? He said, this should quickly put to bed all the 0.001 talk. So pretty much it's been like this between George Sharp and Brett Rosen.
Cut him, man.
I don't want to do it.
Well, cut him.
Nothing, man. You ain't starting nothing.
Yeah, it's been a little rough out there between those two guys. They've really been going at it. And it's not been doing Ilus any favors, that's for sure. And the stock itself is actually down 9% today. It was as much as 12% down earlier in the day. And let's take a look at where we're sitting at. Looks like it's found a bottom here on support. And let me make that a little bit bigger. As you can see right here, let me draw this over so we can see where the crap it is. Yeah, right at the 7 cent mark is where the support is. And that goes back, let's look at 1 year. You can see this goes back from, good grief, how far is that back? A year ago, 1 year ago today. So it's sitting right on that support. And we'll see if it breaks through that. If it does, the next position would be 6 cents, and that's back in here. But, you know, we'll see if it stays above that 7. That should be pretty good support. It hit right in there a while back on June 16th. So we'll see how strong that support is. Ilus just came out with their financials the other day, and they weren't bad, they weren't great, they were good, but not great, and they did not meet expectations as far as net profit. The revenue was fantastic. It's exactly what they said it was going to be. It's up huge to 19.6 million, but their net income was 1.1 million. So their profit margin was not as high as we've been accustomed to with Ilus. And I'll show you that on a bigger chart. It's just easier and simpler. These are the quarters of Ilus, starting back to the first quarter of 21, where they were, very small fledgling, and they ran all the way up to 4.75 and then hit 19.6 million this second quarter, which is fantastic, really strong. But the net income didn't follow this trajectory as much. As you can see right here, it's still really good, and this is a very nice trajectory, but this should have probably been around 3 million if it would have kept up with these other net income percentages. But they had these acquisitions, and I'm wondering if there aren't some special costs involved in that pulled this number down, because normally when you acquire a business, especially a large one, you're going to have a lot of expenses that are one-time or non-recurring that may have very well affected this number. But I mean, it's still over $1 million profit. I mean, it's not bad. It's actually the best number they've ever had. But what it boils down to is meeting expectations in a very brutal market, especially for penny stocks. This is an off-risk market and has been for a while, and penny stocks have been the laggard. They were all the rage 18 months ago, but not now. And it really, you've got to meet your expectations or exceed them. And even when you do, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take off, because CYBL, I covered that as well, and they had fantastic earnings. And that stock is actually down today. It was up a little bit yesterday, but it's flat after really some of the best earnings I've seen. So both these companies are profitable, but again, market doesn't give a damn.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
That's right. The market's like that wicked witch. It'll just burn you up. And penny stocks are the Scarecrow. It just is what it is. It's tough. And like I said, we've got George Sharp and Brett Rosen going at it. And George, look, he's got some influence out there. That's just a fact. He's got like, I don't know, 40,000 followers, and the shorts like to follow him as well. And I'm going to be real interested to see the short volume for today. We don't have it. Actually, on the 15th, when those numbers came out, 70% is what it hit. So they obviously saw the expectations weren't hit, and it brought the stock down. And then they kind of backed off for a day, and then George came out. So I'm very interested to see what happens with the percentage of short. I'll bet you it's pretty high today. I would almost expect it. And this, as I've told you, is all about that 53 million shares that were added, which is really about 4%. I mean, they went from 1.27 or so to 1.325, which was 4%. So that's, you know, that's not some huge number when it comes to dilution compared to the drop in the stock. It appears to be a bit of an overreaction, but, you know, like I say, in this market, any little thing scares people. So I have no delusions that these two are ever going to get along, nor do I think they give a damn.
You know, Ed, if I thought you weren't my friend, I just don't think I could bear it.
And that's Ilus today. And like I said, just wanted to discuss a little bit what's going on, the politics, the infighting, the outfighting, all the fighting. And we're in a tough market today. It was really tough. And then on top of it, you got all this. So it is what it is. You know, welcome to the OTC. It's a bit of the wild, wild west. Always has been, probably always will be. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know, well, you probably don't like the content today. It's not positive. But look, you know, you're going to get the good and the bad if you watch this channel. It's the way it is. So, you know, you hit the like if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.